How's it going, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. So today's Explore is going to be a little different, purely because this isn't going to be a normal Explore with me walking around a location. And that's because this location honestly doesn't have that much to show you. I have been to this location, and although I think that it's pretty interesting in terms of history and why it's been left abandoned, there isn't an awful lot actually left. To most people who pass this place, it probably just looks like an empty bit of land behind a pub, and it kind of is, I suppose. But the place we're going to talk about today was once a thriving remote control car track that was opened by local club members that put in around about £10,000 to have it built. But only a few short years later, it was left and has been sat abandoned ever since. In fact, apart from a cone and a few markings on the ground, very little can actually still be seen of the location itself, especially at ground level. So when I went down there recently to film it, I made sure to bring my drone with me and film it from the air. Really isn't much left now, is there? Just some glass and an old cone. It feels almost surreal because it's almost lost its entire colour. I remember this being very vivid green when I came here, and that's all completely gone. Now right here, pretty much here from what I can remember anyway, this is where there was like the platform for drivers to stand on. So there'd be like stairs to a little platform, and they could stand up there and then they could see their cars wherever they were on the track and just like race them properly. It's actually quite hard to make head or tail over what actually is what. Like I can't really sort of tell where the course went and where the pits were and stuff. It looks like this might be like a little pulling area, but yeah, it's so hard to tell now. So prior to using this location, the club used to race their cars at a different spot near Western Shore, Southampton, near Victoria Road and the Western Sailing Club. However, when new houses were built in the area, residents started complaining about the noise, as at the time the RC cars were petrol powered rather than electric, and the car track was closed down. In 2000, club members raised a total of £10,000 to build a new track. They were given a lease on the land by the pub the track sits behind and gained planning permission from the local council to build on the land. Once finished, races were held there once a fortnight, by at the time the club's 58 members, and was a hub of the local community. I myself, who lived and went to school in Hamble, which is not that far away from the track, remember driving past with my parents and seeing groups of people racing cars. It used to have a kind of viewing bridge that racers could get up high on so they could see their cars from anywhere on the track as they raced them. I even remember climbing the fence when I was younger with my friends to get a closer look. In fact, actually, this may very well have been my very first Explore. And even back then, I thought the place was cool. I remember thinking I'd have loved to get a decent enough remote control car to have a go on the track. And in fact, a few of my friends who were into that kind of thing did actually race here too. But in the last few years of my school life, I moved away from the area, and only recently revisited the area and noticed that the driver's bridge that you could once see from the road was no longer there. After seeing that the bridge wasn't there, the thought was on my mind that I'd like to know what happened to the place and if it was still there. But for a while I put it out of my mind and didn't think any more of it till Christmas when my son got a remote control car. It was then that I decided to take a look on Google Maps to see if the track was still there. I expected to see an empty field or a pile of rubble or something, and was surprised when the old track was still clearly visible. But having been an explorer for a while and knowing what Google Maps is like and how outdated it can be, I decided to take a look for myself. But sure enough, it was actually there. So if I can get some side-by-side shots, I will try, but these are pretty hard to come by. I've looked on Google already, and pictures of this place are almost impossible to find. So yeah, I know for a fact that I've seen pictures of people lined up here racing. Obviously the bridge thing that was over there. I'm pretty sure people should put their cars in there somewhere, because I'm sure I saw a picture of there was a gate just here, but that seems to have been long gone, unless it's, oh hang on, I think it's up there now. Yeah, I'm guessing at some point there probably would have been a way of driving through or driving in so you could unpack your stuff, but yeah, so cool. had a quick Google and was surprised to find very little about the track. In fact, all I found was an article in the Daily Echo from when it was first built back in 2000, and nothing else. No pictures, articles, videos, nothing. Just a few random comments in forums from people much like myself who told snippets of what they remembered of the place. Unsatisfied with that, I started to reach out to anyone and everyone who might know something about it, but it seems like the history of this place had been well and truly lost. That was until I managed to dig up some information on the club that once ran the track. So I reached out on their Facebook page, not knowing if it was the right club, if anyone was actually going to answer, if anyone was even looking at the page anymore. It was quite an old page. But sure enough, after a few hours, I did actually get a reply. But all the reply said was, "Talk to Chris Wilkinson." So armed with that shred of information, I managed to track him down, and it's thanks to him that I'm able to share the pictures that you've been seeing throughout this video. So firstly, a massive thank you, because honestly none of these pictures are online anywhere. So he told me that he started the club back in 2000 like the article says, and that it eventually closed in around 2008-2009, when the pub told him that they were going to turn the car track into an extension of the pub's existing car park. But as you can see, they never have. I asked the question if the pub were going to reimburse the club back the £10,000 they raised to have the track built, because as far as I was aware, they had a lease on the land. I know obviously I don't know the details of that or how long it was, but it seemed like a very short period of time, 2000 to 2008, 2009, for them to have spent £10,000 having this thing built only to be told to move. But strangely enough, he disputes that they ever paid £10,000 in the first place, which I found really strange. I showed him the article and he questions the factual reliability of it. I don't know who has the facts right, who knows, but let's be honest, it wouldn't be the first time the news has reported fiction as fact.
Now over in that corner there used to be an old container. I'm guessing they sort of stored stuff they needed like cars, barriers, etc. But now it's literally just an overgrown bush. Not much left at all.
Anyway, to me it feels like there must have been some other reason behind it, especially where they never actually built the car park. I was told by a few people that vandalism played a big part, which would make sense to me. If the track or indeed the pub was a target of vandals, that would have been a good reason for the pub to decide to pull the plug. However, once again Chris denies this and said that there was a few minor bits every now and then, but nothing substantial. I did also reach out to the pub, but unfortunately the manager there has only been there since 2021, and he did sort of say, I'll try and get in contact with anyone who's sort of worked here for a while, see if they know anything about it. But they came back to me and said, and I quote, "We have no on-site documentation or media about the racetrack or club, and none of the team this weekend have any further information to offer." He did, however, go on to say that he'd ask more staff during the week, but unfortunately I'm kind of running out of time to make this video, so if there are any updates, please check the very top comment of this video, because anything that I do update, I will update and pin it at the top so you guys can check it out. And that's pretty much it. Now I know that this video is wildly different to many of my other explores, but it was one that I wanted to do, not just because this place seems to be a black hole online with very little you could find out about it, and for that reason I thought that it would be good to do a history video on the location, to have it out there online for people to see, including old members who might not have anything to show for their time using the track, but also because for me it was something that I've had memories of as a kid and thought that I would enjoy making the video on it. Anyway, that is it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this video, and if you'd like to see similar videos to this one in the future, maybe I can do a few more. You know full well I wasn't going to come to a remote control car track without trying out a remote control car. See you next week.
Wrapping a rag around my face, I pull my hoodie on. This ain't no time for rookies, young. Got my octo camo on. So the wing can't be worried about no 5 or special ops. I keep my composure steady, thunder the ball of gold, cause I'm off the top.